I'm super excited today about taking our first look at the campaign for Steel Division 2, taking place in the Eastern Front in 1944 during the Second World War. Of course, the Germans and the Soviets facing off what would have ultimately be the Germans' defeat. Let's take a look here under the solo campaign and take a look at both the strategic and also the scenario missions. If we take a look at scenario, there's many different missions that you can play as both the Soviets and the Germans in June and July of 1944, and there's many different for example, 3v3s, sizes of scales of battle. So it's going to be quite interesting to see, as well as the strategic campaign, which, as you can see with the map on the right side, there's a lot of detail, and also encroaching Soviet forces as they get closer and closer to what it would be the German border. So welcome, good to see you all here. I'm Raptor, of course, and welcome everyone to Steel Division 2. I'm excited to take a look at the scenario mission. Skirmishes would just be your own setup against the AI, and then of course you can play multiplayer too. So if you want to see more of this, of course, support this type of content because it is being suppressed by the algorithms and such, and of course it's scary because it's World War II in history, and so thus that'll be suppressed. So thank you everyone for showing your support and battling back Susan and her forces as well, as we now start our own battle against the AI. We're going to take a look at Stemming the Tide here, 2 versus 1 in Boulevard, June 26, 1944. It says here that although Orshka's garrison was still fighting, Soviet armored forces had bypassed it and were racing through to the German rears. The only regular unit available to the German high command was the anti-partisan French collaborationist LVF, aka the Grenadier Regiment 638, which was nonetheless thrown against the Red Tide. Only supported by a couple of Tigers and Stukas, their mission was to slow the Soviet long enough to bring in reinforcements by train. So we'll be playing as Kampfgruppe Bordeaux LVF today against the 18th Guards and the 62nd Guards as well. So there's a huge campaign in this game. We're just taking a look at scratching the very, very thick surface of this game. There's a lot of depth to it. And, of course, we can play as the Soviets and the Germans. We'll play as the Germans today to show off the defensive aspects of the game, which are a little bit more interesting to me, as we can actually set up bunkers and barbed wire and trenches and put our troops in there. So let's go ahead and play as those troops up here, the Kampfgruppe Bordeaux. Let's go ahead and switch teams, and we can be up there. Play against medium AI, and looks like we'll play as... oh, actually, what? That doesn't make sense to play as... Oh, okay. All right, interesting. Tried to list the... Kampfgruppe there, but of course this is also pre-release too. So all right, well, with the Soviets on their way, the Germans then are going to have to set up defenses. Let's do that now. The other levels to play against, I guess, are hard and very hard, but we'll just go ahead and go against 2 mediums since we're outnumbered. That should pretty much equal it up. And beautiful loading screens in this game, and as tradition with any Eugen Systems game, the load is very quick and the game is very large and very beautiful. As you can see, all sorts of detailed types of cities, all the way down to literally seeing like intersections. You can see everything down to a pool of water for livestock, tractors. That should be like a stack of wood. All sorts of different details here, and just beautiful. Being able to see through the windows and little trees and bushes and things here and there, all the way up to the macro, which you'll be taking a lot bigger of a look at, because a lot of our units are long range. Alright, well, I can already tell you our greatest area to defend will probably be here. The Soviets will be entering from these 2 roads on that side, and we'll have to defend along this ridge line. We can cut off their whole forces here if we pile up a lot of AT up there, but also one disadvantage to that would be for us to essentially put all of our stuff in one area and allow the enemy to artillery it. This is a very small area that artillery could destroy, so we do need to spread our forces out along the river and defend each one of the bridges as we can. Some of the bridges are, you know, like road bridges, and other bridges seem to be submerged. I thought I saw once when I took a look at this the first time. Maybe not. I thought they were perhaps some sort of... Oh, yeah, here we are. There's a bridge submerged there, either because the water is high or because it was some sort of a military bridge where they built... there are bridges like that that are submerged, too. I'm not exactly sure, or it's just a goof, but... I don't know, because some of these bridges are above. But anyway, let's get started by setting up our defenses. We have at our disposal barbed wire, gun pits for things such as mortars and machine guns, trenches, bunkers for MG42s, PaK-37s, and PaK-75mm, essentially a PaK-40. So that being one of our most important weapons, we're going to put that up here, as this can pretty much stop all Soviet tanks in their tracks, especially with a side shot. So we're going to put that right up here and try to defend our positions with it. And... also going to put barbed wire down. We cannot put barbed wire on the road, so it doesn't allow it to be too overpowered. But what we can do is set them up like this. And if we don't like that, We can also right-click on that, and I believe if you hold Shift, you can also make the barbed wire connect to, like this, for example. If we want to make a zigzag pattern to control the flow of troops, we can do something like that. That way, if the Soviet troops make it across the bridge, they'll have a little difficulty getting up the hill. So very intricate, very detailed in the amount of defenses that you can set up. That's why defending is kind of the coolest thing, because you get to lay ambushes and traps, and so it's exciting to see if it will work or not. And that's one of my favorite things of Metal War Assault Squad 2, and now when I found it in Steel Division 2, extra excited. Another very popular World War II game with more of a micro setup, but this allows for both micro and macro, so it's just great. I'm going to set up another 37mm Pack 36 up here, and we can also put Flak 88s, for example, in those gun pits, but we just don't have that resource at our disposal. All we have, of course, is the French unit, and then, of course, a couple of Tigers too. So we'll set up a couple of Tigers here. We'll also get some trenches laid down, so that way we can defend against the Soviets if and when they take the hill. And of course, in this game, just like in the Second World War, things kind of work in phases. You can see on the right side of the screen where it says Phase A. We'll get access to different vehicles as time goes on. Our vehicles will probably be better than the Soviets' choices at the start because they're attacking, and a lot of their light units are at the front, but over time, a lot of their heavier units will start to arrive, and it's going to become a lot more difficult for us to hold the line. I'm going to try to set up some defenses over here. It's good to layer trenches in front of buildings too, so that way we can have initial troops on the front line, and then you can put machine guns behind that, and then reinforcements can arrive behind that too. But of course, there's many different ways to set up your defenses. Really no right way. It all depends on how the enemy is going to react to all of your defenses. I'm going to go ahead and try to set up some additional lines here. We're going to try to defend the far right flank with just machine guns, as the enemy is more than likely going to try to attack on these four bridges here. 1, 2, 3, and possibly 4 over here, but we will more than likely be able to defend these on the far right with little to no problem. We can set up some defenses here. I will try to set up some sort of machine gun ambush point here. Barbed wire in front of that is good as well. We'll have the Luftwaffe at our disposal. Stukas and other air superiority fighters and other equipment will be at our disposal shortly. And I'm going to try to use trenches, as they're very good at hiding troops and allowing us to take cover during artillery strikes. So I'm going to try to make a couple of defensive positions just in case we get pushed back. So I'm going to make one in the tree line there. Looks like it actually makes the tree line disappear. There we go. And I believe the barbed wire works both ways too, so keep in mind that if you're blocking a position with barbed wire, it will stop your infantry from going through it, or at least slow them down. Alright, let's see where else we could set up some defenses. I'm mostly layering defenses on the left side, and I have 2 AT guns here. I don't know if we could put any more down. Having them in the elevated position, though, is better. I'm going to actually put as many AT guns up here as we can. I think 3 is probably almost overdoing it, but we should be okay there. I'm going to try to squeeze in. Can we get a AT gun here? Oh, that would be really great if we were to block this bridge with an AT gun. Oh, that's going to be perfect. That's really good. And then let's try to put another one somewhere nearby. Maybe over here if we can. No. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, we can squeeze one in over here. Perfect. So with these long open roads like this, the Soviets, when they advance, they're going to have to take these roads through the villages, and once they hit the clearing, they're going to really hit a lot of heavy German fire too, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, MG42 bunkers, still pretty useful. I think we can put these outside the town. Again, not so easy to hit the troops when they're in cover, but anytime that they're moving between buildings, we might be able to suppress them and fire on them. Eliminating a unit is not always our goal. Sometimes just firing on them and getting them to put their heads down is what the goal is. There we go. Alright, we have a gun pit at our disposal. That could be good for mortars. I think we'll set up some mortars here. Maybe we can get some artillery or something like that. At our disposal, of course, is the Focke-Wulf 190 AB. We do have some mortars at our disposal, Pack 37s, which can also go in those gun pits. Some troops, tanks, and recon, and a little bit more. So luckily, trenches and barbed wire don't cost us any points, but putting down those guns did. They are pretty, powerful, as you would imagine. So we're going to layer the rest of our defenses here at the mountain. We're basically making a mountain defense now. It's not really a mountain, but it is a very high point, so you may as well consider it a mountain, considering the other landscape around us. So it's a good thing to defend. Alright, 380 meters of barbed wire remain. I think I'll try to maybe put some... I am not sure exactly where else we can squeeze a little bit more. We don't have to use it all, but I will try to. Put some barbed wire here. And maybe down the side of the road too, to funnel all the Soviets onto the main road. There we go. Alright, then what remains is about 5 meters of barbed wire. We're not going to really be able to use that. And about 1,000 meters of trenches. So let's go ahead and try to create just a few defensive positions for our troops to hide from artillery. And we'll lay our defenses over here. The Soviets will more than likely attack here. It's a very important position. And of course these homes can be destroyed by artillery too. So if they happen to fire a Katyusha at us and everything gets destroyed, we still have an area to hide and to fight from. Alright, I'm going to put one more defensive position here near the river. Actually, we'll put 2. Good, and then we'll try to just put a little bit more barbed wire over there. Rather, trenches next to that barbed wire. Okay, so yeah, it can be real intricate. And I'm going to put one last little line of defense over here, and that'll be that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put down our infantry now. Support is going to be first. We can put down MG34s. I believe there's a way to select those with no vehicle. I can't quite recall how to do that. I think there might be... Maybe it's when you set up the deck originally, but we should be able to have these units go into the trenches and fire MG34s from here. And we'll do the same maybe over on this right side. Here, double machine gun duty. Okay, we also have a commander unit. Very important in this game. We can have commanders, command squad leaders, giving everyone better veterancy. And that can be a real big game changer, as it'll stop everyone from panicking when they're under fire. It'll provide order to the front line. And I'm going to put our commander back here in the church. Then we're going to put a few more troops around here at the village, for example. And I'm just going to try to lay these troops around in a somewhat spread out pattern. And we just don't want them to get too close to our front lines here. There we go. Again, these are French and German troops kind of together, as it mentioned during the briefing. I'd never really heard of that, French troops fighting with German in the Eastern Front, but wow, you can tell how desperate they were for manpower if that was the scenario. Put a couple of troops there. I think we can also get some mortars down, one mortar at least, with the little gun pit that we put down. Should be a good spot to put it right about there. And then we got 15 points left, and that's a little too short for recon. I think we could maybe get rid of something. Maybe just one squad of infantry. We do want to see where the enemy's coming from, so we can put some infantry inside the trees here and here, and let the battle begin. Alright, ready? Go. Alright, look at that. Troops are already getting ready to fire. Alright, the Soviets are making a beeline towards the bridge on the far right side. That's why we've got AT guns. PaK-37's already firing on them. And fire coming back in too. Let's get our Tigers into position. Now the Soviets will be fighting with Shermans, from what I understand of this scenario. And one of our bunkers pinned down there. Let's get another machine gun up. Get that MG34 inside the trench. Soviets are making a very fast attack to the far right flank. Let's make sure our troops go inside the trenches. There we go. Alright, and we'll get those Tigers under command here in a second. Alright, Tigers should be on the line firing. Here they come to cause some damage. Not nun fire! Alright, both tanks have good overwatch of anything that comes down that road. And the Soviets are artillering us now from their mortar over here. I don't know if we have the range for that. Looks like we do not. I'm going to go ahead and try to continue to fire down anything on this road. So the Soviets are firing on our positions, our AT positions, and machine guns and such, but looks like a Sherman was knocked out there. Beautiful. part of the Lend-Lease Act, giving the Soviets even more tanks to play with than the millions that they already had, as if they needed them. Alright, we can get additional tanks up with the Tiger E. 120 points, so we'll wait a little bit for that. And we can provide some more fire to the right side, more firepower, to support those troops. First and foremost, it's more important to put down trenches and troops in them to try to contain. And then after that, it's best to try to bring up the heavy guns. We'll try to bring up some here, as well as a couple of recon groups to keep an eye on the Soviets. We'll bring one here and there, keep an eye on them, as well as an infantry squad, if we can. Looks like it's 30 points. Okay, so the Soviets falling back. Looks like we got them pretty well contained over on the left side. Their reinforcements are kind of slowed down here. The initial troops that they start with at the start kind of made a rush to the far eastern side. Looks like they're kind of creeping up, but the goal is to keep them on the other side of the river, and it seems to be going well so far. MG42 opening up on a small motorcycle. Didn't know that motorcycle had a reverse gear. Tiger's under attack. Got a Tiger here bouncing shots from Shermans. Excellent. Enemy tank destroyed. We're eventually going to have to bring those tanks supplies. They will run out of ammunition. Wow. And a command tank destroyed too. Let's get those recon out. Enemy aircraft spotted. It is a small recon plane. That's actually a very good fighter plane too. Could be a pretty good fighter. Gonna need to wait for points to get it.
Section recours, prête. J'y vais.
Alright, we'll try to shoot that down in a moment. We don't have any anti-aircraft at all. We don't start with any. And we won't get any either. And troops on the ground can't fire at that.
Hauptmann, absetzen, sofort.
Alright, Tiger's coming up to support here on this little peninsula. And we'll park him over there to defend the MG42 and other weapons. Luckily we've got an MG34 and a MG42 bunker. Would be nice to shoot down that enemy aircraft, but I think for now I'm going to call up an anti-tank gun to defend that position. And where are our Tigers here? Oh, they've turned. Excellent, to engage. Let's call up another Tiger to the hill. Very important at the start here to maintain control over our side of the river. Soviets are getting ready to launch an attack across. Very exciting here. We need to control the road to Minsk and also the city of, or town of Bober. So very important for us to continue to hold these positions. That damn artillery. We need to somehow wipe that out. Get our mortar within range, then get out of that pit. We've been taking enough fire. Luckily, they're only damaging those bunkers, and that doesn't really account for much. Destroying it is what they need to do. Alright, let's call up some more artillery. Looks like an MG34 bunker was destroyed. That's okay. We've got infantry, and we've got tanks. And enemy infantry out in the open. 88 millimeters firing on them. Infantry squad destroyed. And it looks like they're finally attacking us. Oh, a small machine gun. No line of sight on that one. So, in retrospect, maybe a little better to put the MG42 here where it can fire clearly. It can't really fire too far through the trees. Okay, well, it's nice to have a Tiger here. If we put the Tiger over on this side, we should be able to cover any sort of bridge crossing here and anything that comes down this way. And the little AT gun is on its way. There we go. Alright, mortar now firing on the enemy mortar. I think that's an 81 millimeter. Enemy air contact again. Let's go ahead and try to shoot down that recon plane so they can't zero their artillery as well. Alright, so the FW-190AB coming out here. Let's see it engage this enemy plane. Nose to nose, he could shoot me down. And there's also aces of the Second World War II that you might see from the Soviet side. Another machine gun destroyed. Okay, that's fine. So long as we keep it to AT guns surviving, that's better. Wonderful! Enemy aircraft shot down. Good job. Schweinehunde eliminated. Ooh, and a nice crash inside the village. Very epic, this game. Alright, Tigers are still pinning down positions here. Looks like our P.A.Q. is still pinned down. Careful, don't turn your side too much. These tanks here are having a very big difficulty hitting our tanks, or rather penetrating. They're bouncing a lot of their shots. Those American 75s can't penetrate the frontal armor of a Tiger like that. These are 75mm guns. See how those tanks are getting decimated. We do have Stukas and such we can call out shortly. We've got about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to the next phase. And when we get there, we'll be able to call out more things, as I had mentioned before. We'll be able to call out more variety of tanks, more variety of troops and aircraft. And the Soviets will be able to call out even more than us. So now they'll be able to rip through our defensive positions. Luckily, we've got 3 tanks approaching on the left. Well, Tiger's doing a really good job. Let's go ahead and have this one reverse. There is commands in this game, so that way you can face the armor at the enemy all the time. So I'm going to reverse this way and then advance over to the left side. And then go into hunt mode, which essentially is attack move. Transmission damaged on one of these Tigers. He's going to have to stay put now and fight off the enemy. Not overly concerned with that. Oh, never mind. The shooter was knocked out. Oh, no, it's okay. P.A.Q. returning fire. Although when our vehicles are panicked, of course, they're a little less accurate as they are a little more panicked. Alright, mortars are here. Let's go ahead and spread out these mortars. Put one in the gun pit, one up in the forest, and maybe one over here by the church. Another enemy tank destroyed. Wow. The Soviets were able to bypass a lot of our earlier defenses, creating this mission, but they're having a hell of a time getting through now. What they really need is like T-3485s or P.A.Q. Su-100s, something like that. Okay, we can call out some more infantry. I think we better do that now in order to fill our lines up a little bit. Wherever the Soviets might attack from. Let's bulk up some of the lines here. And maybe here too. And the rest of the points we'll save for the next phase, so that way we can get some additional aircraft. More importantly, supply. So this tank here is permanently damaged until we bring up a supply vehicle to repair it. So now 3 Tigers are firing. Damn, that is brutal. That high point right there was a very big payoff. The Soviets, of course, are all over the map, but luckily we've got them somewhat contained. Now we can call up a P.A.Q. so we can reinforce some of these other areas even more. So let's go ahead and make sure that they don't get past us. They've got a lot of infantry coming now. So I'm going to call out a P.A.Q. just to have it on the field, and we'll move it around wherever it'll be needed at some point. And we also have, what are these? SS Schupo-Führer. Oh, it's some sort of a squad lead. Maybe these are these Finnish troops, Schupo? I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure much about that. Alright, well our reinforcements are already arriving from before. I'm spawning more Soviets than I want to, so we're going to bring in even more reinforcements. Luckily those trenches are paying off. And oh yes, we need a supply truck for this damaged Tiger. Supply trucks are always targeted first, so you need to be very cautious of those, because they can explode. Wow, that 75mm P.A.Q. gun. The P.A.Q. right here is just being a beast. It's drawing all the enemy fire, and it might not be causing a lot of damage, but it is bringing in all the attention away from the Tigers, so they can continue to bring down the pain. And the Soviets still have a lot of fight in them, and I like that. Let's see what we have here. Ju-87D3 with medium payload of 250 kilogram 250 kilogram bomb. We've got an aircraft standing by. Oop, more Soviet mortars now. Let's go ahead and start hitting that. And it looks like infantry is coming near, but we won't fire on them until they're pinned down by machine guns. Once they're pinned down by machine guns, we can finish them off with mortars, or vice versa, depending on how close they are. Soviets are trying to rush the bridge now with some infantry. There's a perfect target for the mortar. Wow, and a Tiger having a say in that by firing an HE round. Oh, and look at all that mortar fire coming down on top of them. Beautiful. Let's get some more mortars up. Very important. Under the artillery tab. Oh, it's not until level C. Okay. Munitions truck is coming up here. It'll be here shortly. 3 Tigers, a pack gun, and a couple of AT. Wow, look at the amount of destruction here. And it's just beautiful in this game, the amount of plumes that come up out of the wrecks. It's really cool to see all that fire. Oh, it looks like enemy troops are firing back. Oh, and a Katyusha being fired on our position. Alright, Tigers gonna have to roll in there. Yeah, the Katyusha very good at getting troops to panic. That thing's gotta go. See if we can get the Tiger to take a shot at him. Or get our Ju-87 to do it. There's also a couple of recon Stukas, or rather ME-109s. Let's have them attack that thing. Very valuable. No, 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 Tiger, no, no. Okay, everything on the line is panicked. Good thing we called up those reinforcements. They can walk to the lines now. We lost a squad lead here, so some of our veterancy suffers, so we're going to bring up that again to repair the line of command. And beautiful, Katyusha eliminated by those recon planes. Let's keep hitting those with the recon planes. Alright, transmission of one of the Tigers needs to be repaired. Oh wow, and a Pack 40 finally destroyed. They finally got that thing. Katyusha eliminated. Excellent. Good thing we got rid of those. Those were very deadly. They shook our line a little bit. Looks like the Soviets are trying to attack our recon squad on the left side. Go ahead and mortar them now. I don't think they have the ability to cross rivers. Oh, they do. That's something I didn't know. Good. Infantry can actually cross rivers. That's cool. We get all of our mortars to fire on that. Tiger's been repaired too, by the way, from the Opel Blitz munition truck. And it'll also rearm the Tigers too. And we've got our recon planes firing on light mortars. Anything out in the open. Let's get more of these guys deployed. Let's get 2 squads into the trenches and the other 2 into the houses. Everywhere else is okay. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. Wow, 3 attack aircraft coming in on that mortar. Oh, nice. That is an enemy commander. That is a high-level ranking officer right there. That is a big O Soviet official right there. Let's go ahead and see if we can do a gun run on that. Here comes the aircraft to attack. He's out of there. That was a huge win for us right there. Soviets are sleeping at the wheel when it comes to their air support. I'm going to try to keep cutting away at their mortars and such, artillery. Soviets are still attacking some of our light gun positions. I'm not too worried about that. We now have a commander unit here. I'm going to try to get them close to the front as possible. Fire on enemy positions wherever possible as well. And get everyone into cover. Another good thing to try to do is always take cover. We've got plenty of points now. Let's see, another Pack 40 could be useful. We'll wait till both of these are here, and then I'll put those back onto the hill to replace the ones that we lost. Also possibly get some MG 34s here. Damn, looks like that squad made it across on the left side. Let's bring up the Tigers to engage targets. This over here is just a machine gun, so not too much of a worry. But we need to continue to cut down enemy tanks. Okay, some of our units are out of munitions, so we do need to call up another truck.
Mes hommes sont prêts.
Try to get up there with a command squad. Give everyone the extra veterancy. You can see the Tigers get 3 Iron Crosses versus the 2 when they're in the area of influence of the officer. So very important for the battle to be close to those troops. And tanks in this case. Wow, I can't believe the amount of Soviet vehicles we've destroyed. Alright, I'm just holding off then for anything else we might need. We'll react to the Soviets. It seems like they've captured a big area of territory, but they're kind of fully stopped here now. And we'll have some of these mortars returned for ammunition. We've got plenty of fallback positions just in case. Damn, Soviets did break through on the far left, so let's clean up that a little bit. We'll get a few man squad there to recapture that area so we can get recon back on the front line. Let's keep bringing the pain, boys. Keep dropping it on them. Alright, well, we have no mortars, no artillery or anything for a while. And calling in Stukas is only going to get them to probably call out heavier air support. So if we just call out fighters to nick anything that is a like a light artillery, like a mortar, then we'll be okay. Let's also call up some more recon. Alright, let's get those packs up here too on the left side. Looks like this 4-man squad is needing replacement. We'll shift them out. Probably lost a lot of men during the Katyusha attack. Alright, everything is going very well, I must say. I'm surprised that none of the lines have broken, actually. And I was expecting myself to do much more poorly against an enemy like this. We're against 2 enemies. However, those Shermans haven't been able to scrape our Tigers, so even if we put it on the most difficult setting, that doesn't change the fact that a 75mm can't really do much against a Tiger. You could put it on insane difficulty, and that doesn't mean much. Alright, the final phase with, let's see, enemies total defeat in 13 minutes. We now have access to better mortars. Let's call those up. Enemy air contacts are up. Let's go ahead and call up everything. Oh, an IL... ooh, no. Oh, no. Rocket planes coming up. Enemy infantry flanking from the left. Defend the Tiger. Excellent. Enemy squad that was there was destroyed. Let's see if we can get those Pack 40s wheeled into position.
Dieses Geschütz rührt sich kaum vom Fleck.
Oh, good. That one squad pushed in deep. Oh, looks like we got enemy mortars again. Let's go ahead and attack those. Interesting. The Soviets should be playing, even on this difficulty, much more aggressively with their aircraft. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at all that. Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. Let's go ahead and start firing all of our mortars on that. Well, this mortar's pinned down. Okay, where's that infantry? Okay, more infantry are coming in. So our goals then are just to maintain this side of the river. More importantly, the two that I marked earlier, Bobber and the road to Minsk. So far so good. Enemy troops are approaching. We should probably bulk up our lines a little bit. The Soviets are probably going to get a lot of reinforcements. I'm going to try to add a few more reinforcements to every position just in case. ISU-152 destroyed. My God. Right, let's attack those Studebakers and random munitions trucks. Deny the Soviet supplies. I believe we might be facing off with maybe IS-2s at some point. We'll see. Transmission destroyed on that Tiger. Means we got to move up a little bit with the repair truck. They could destroy that. Very risky. And we're trying to rescue the Tiger by pulling it back into our territory a little bit. Look at that. 3 Tigers have decimated the enemy troops. Look at that. I mean, that is insanity. Another tank destroyed? Can't believe it. Ah, the Studebaker was hauling a 82mm mortar. Some of the things the Soviets desperately need. Alright, I'm keeping random reinforcements around just in case. Soviets won't be able to spot them without all that recon that they don't have. I'm very surprised. This AI should be bringing in a good number of recon vehicles. Or planes, and they're not. I'm shocked. But I guess we have kind of cornered them right now. Most of their forces are here, so let's bombard the hell out of them. Let's call in a bunch of Stukas, shall we? And see what happens. Let's call in a whole group. And we'll go ahead and start setting up targets. Let's bombard the hell out of everything. We'll start setting up random bombing points. These are not small bombs, but they're not huge. Some of this stuff here could be hidden, so we'll try to hit everything. I think the Tigers have cleared most of everything out. Well, let's see how the Stukas work. Here they come. A whole wing of Ju-87s. And everything else should be able to be... Oh, actually, there's a Ju-87 recon plane with a 20mm autocannon, too. That's very powerful. Still trying to get that transmission repaired, and here come the Stukas. Oh my God. Wow. Well, that was really cool. We hit a few things, nothing really destroyed, but I was leaving it up to the Tigers to kind of finish off most things. A lot of it's heavier armor, so... Actually, those armored cars would be perfect targets. That certainly looked cool, though. Come on, boys, let's get that transmission repaired. Additional mortars are here. I need targets. Looks like they are getting ready to push several bridges. So I don't know exactly how... This would be great to play against another player. This would be fantastic to have a two of your friends attack while you defend. That would be epic. Planes are getting out of here. They're out of fuel. Good. RTB. Soviets apparently are right in front of us, but even with recon, we can't really see where they're at. But they're not even attempting to cross, so we've been able to solidify defenses. That one Tiger, I feel bad for it. It hasn't been able to see any action at all. We'll sneak up there and see if we can start penetrating enemy positions and find out where they're at. There we go. Wow. This is amazing. This game is a lot more complicated than just camping a spawn point, essentially, but the Soviets also have been seen to bring in reinforcements from up here, so the fact that they're continuously making sure that their reinforcements come out close to the hill is not very smart of them. They should be attacking from up here, building up their forces, and then flanking to the east over this direction. Enemy recon there, that's what it is. Friendly infantry pushing in. Every time an MCHA is destroyed, it is a American Sherman, essentially. Wow. That is a lucky tank bouncing that 88mm. That won't last very long. One more and it's probably going to get destroyed. There it goes. That's it. Alright, we're almost out of ammunition here. So let's try to give everyone whatever they can for the last bit of the fight. 2 minutes until the Soviets are defeated. We pretty much contain them here at the river, and reinforcements are supposedly arriving by train, so we're just waiting for our whatever train to arrive. Let's get that munitions truck out of here before it explodes. And we can call in additional reinforcements from here. I think this truck does have a lot of armament left. No real need for our mortars or anything. Let's go ahead and see if we can have some of these planes attack. Oh, I guess the Soviets did bring up BA-64s, the shoe car, as some people call it. Looks like a shoe, looks like a car. It's the shoe car. And it's going to get out of here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and try to specifically bomb tanks now and see how that works out. I think it might take a little bit more than one bomb. Good, let's have our recon planes fly around a little bit. Okay, so a lot of Soviet infantry sitting there, a lot of targets perfect for artillery. Be better for probably heavier artillery instead of just some light mortars. Let's try to get out of here. Push forward a little bit and scout out enemy positions. And let's get these guys led by commanders. Oh, the Soviets calling up IL-2s with rockets. And they are going for our infantry that are in the open. Ooh, nice. Actually killing a command unit. So in order for those strikes to be worth it, they need to continuously come in. They can't just come in one at a time like that. Alright, here comes the bombs from the Stuka. Wow, they're actually getting fired at by 50 cals on the ground from those tanks. They do have the ability to defend themselves. Alright, so the Soviets clearly don't want us to attack here, so let's go all in right there with a giant swarm. Actually, we've only got a few seconds left, so too little too late. The Stuka bombers are the last thing that we'll see. Fantastic. Now that we've got a total victory, we get to the next level, and stemming the tide. Yep, we had 2 of 2 objectives captured, a total victory. You can see all the details on things that you've killed. Look at the kills on those Tiger E's. These are all the vehicles and troops that they killed themselves. The bunker Pack 75. Look at the amount of tanks destroyed. Focke-Wulf doing a good job too, killing a commander unit. Look at this one tank. Its entire Vietnam wall's worth of kills. This is incredible. Incredible indeed. Alright, I can't wait to show you guys some more Steel Division 2, some more operations. I want to be able to play with and against players. I'm playing a little bit before release, so I don't know if everybody can play this yet, but it'd be awesome to play these scenarios against other players. The strategic campaign may come one day. It is very detailed and very complex, cutscenes and a lot of stuff to do. If you want something on probably a scale of maybe a smaller scale Hearts of Iron, but with all the kind of turn-based strategy and whatnot, this is the game for you. Not to mention, each time that you play a battle, it's like Total War. You make your moves, and then you fight it out just like you saw here today. Alright, everyone, that's my time. Thanks for watching. Steel Division 2 is a lot of fun. I praise the game, especially for its multiplayer. Very solid multiplayer game, too. So, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for leaving your support and cheering me on, and have a great day, everybody. You're all fantastic, so thank you very much for watching. Goodbye, everyone.